Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. We are today talking about the Yamaha TRACER GTX. And it's a 900, and this is their sports tourer, and I suppose it's pretty much one of their most super tech ones. You remember I did the Tenere before, and all that has is ABS. So let's have a look at it and get into it. So this bike has been around for a little bit, actually. It's got quite a history. And as always, you know, it's Yamaha, so it's always kind of bulletproof. But what I want to talk about, which this one has, which is the X and is different to the other models, is this one has variable speed control, so radar, basically. And it's really clever. And I think it's probably one of the best features. And I think it's one of, you know, BMW, KTM, Ducati, all of them all have variable speed devices or radar, and they're all quite high end. But this comes in at quite a reasonable price compared to the others. Now it's over here, in this little box just here, where the radar is, and it's basically like a bat, just deciding where everything is. And what's clever is you can set it so that you're whatever distance you want to be behind a car, and usually you would use this on an open road or a motorway or a freeway or a highway or whatever it is. And it just means that you're not having to throttle down, throttle up, or push up or down on the cruise control if your bike has it. This does it all for you, so you can go for much longer distances. You can drive or ride for much longer. I've got one in my Volkswagen Transporter, and it's a game changer when you're on long journeys. And this, because it has active suspension, which is from KYB, which is a really good suspension company, but what's really clever, so when you're coming up to a car that's slower, what it does is it engine brakes, slows down on the engine. But then if you have to brake really hard, it'll then use both rear and front to slow you down. And then it uses the active suspension so that you don't get the dive on the front forks. So it's super clever. Anyway, I think it's one of its best features. So then, as you would expect, because it's got radar, you would expect everything else to be there as well, and it really does have. It has a lovely display which offers you all the stuff, wheelie control, traction control, you know, all the stuff that you would expect from a high-tech bike. But what's interesting about this bike is that this comes in at around 15 grand for this particular model, and with the active suspension and the cruise control. And so to compare that, you would have the Ducati or the KTM or the BMW, and a lot of them which have the same kind of tech are about £5,000 more. So the Ducati comes in about 20 grand, and so on and so forth, KTM and stuff. So this is pretty reasonable, really, when you think about it. And just a thought as well, on a slightly negative point, I've been using it for quite a bit, and I'm used to having indicators self-cancelling, and this, although this is really techy, for some reason it doesn't have self-cancelling indicators. Maybe it does, and I don't know how to turn it on, but that's one thing I find annoying. But you know, small thing. I look rather nice today, don't I? My hair, I think I've lost a bit of weight. I think when you're fat like me, you need to dress in black, dark colours. You can dress to your weight. So here comes Paulie Wally. He's going to be our driver today. Woo! There he is. Paulie Wally! So one of the things I like about active cruise control is that when you're on the motorway or on twisty roads, you know, it makes you, it means you can follow people and you can be relaxed and you can get more out of it. But when you start to get to the more sort of twisty roads, it doesn't really work, especially if you're following other motorcycles. So it's best to get to that point, you know, you cruise control and you get to that lovely bit and the twisty roads start to come in front of you and you just turn all that off and then you just get into the riding of it. Because this bike, I have to say, when you start twisting the throttle, it really does start to ride really well, and it does handle actually very well. It's really positive. You get the feeling, like a lot of these bikes today, you get this feeling going into the road, and it you can feel the front gripping, and it doesn't scare you, or you don't feel the front tucking or anything like that. It really does give you what's that word? It gives you confidence. Right, well, let's talk about the engine. So it's a Yamaha CP3 triple. It's a 890 or 900cc, produces about 120 horsepower, and it's like Yamaha always is, a very smooth engine. It's got quite a lot of low down grunt. The engine's been around for a while, so you know, like all these, they're pretty much like all bikes. You know, they're bulletproof really, but it's nice. It's not very vibratey, It's not very vibratey, but yeah, it's a nice engine. Right, so let's talk about the quick shifter. Now, this quick shifter is actually really good. It's really nice. It's got that when you're accelerating hard and you click up, it's got that wah, ba, ba, and because it's a triple, it has that really nice noise, and it works really well going down as well. So it's I have to say, because on some bikes, you know, the quick shifter just really isn't as good as it should be, but this one really very nice. So this is a sports tourer. Now it's different to that adventure market, which is so big, and this could be mistakenly dropped in there because it's a similar kind of style, but this is very much of a road bike. So if you want that adventure but you're going to be pretty much on the road pretty much all of the time, you want something like this, which is a sports tourer. So let's talk about what it feels like to ride, and you know, of course it's a Yamaha. It has a very nice ride. Everything seems to be in the right position. The instruments and the clock in front of you are easy to look at, easy to use on the go, apart from those indicators which don't self-indicate, which I think all bikes should these days. But what I like the seat. It is comfortable, but for me, I feel, because of this bit of the seat on the back here, for me, I feels I can't get back a little bit enough for me. So for me, the seat isn't as comfortable as it potentially could be. And I'm sure you can get aftermarket seats to change however you want. Also, the screen for me, it's very easy to use, but I still find it a little bit buffety. But other than that, I mean, it looks gorgeous. I mean, the color scheme with the gray and the black and the gold is just superb, isn't it? So let's talk a little bit about the integration of the bike. Now, they run in conjunction with Garmin, which is just a fantastic idea, because Garmin has one of the best mappings in the world. They really are good. But another little small point is that in order for it to work, you have to download the app on your phone, and then you have to integrate the bike with the phone and with the app in order to run the mapping system. Now, from what I've heard from the grapevine, is that on the next gen of this lot, they're already going to integrate it much more into the bike rather than relying on the phone, because when you're out there in the cuds in the middle of nowhere, you know, you don't necessarily get phone reception and get data. So there you go. Okay, well, that's sort of what the bike is, I suppose. So now the only thing really to do is to head out and have a go and see what it feels like to ride. There we go. Can you hear the quick shifter? It's so seamless. There's just no. This is going down gears now. Here we go. Up gear. Now what I'm going to do, there's cars in front, so I'm going to turn on the cruise control. Set. There it is, 44 miles an hour. So at 40 miles an hour, and it's just doing it, no hands. And then when we get to the bottom of the hill here, so I'm not using the accelerator, and so see all the people there, so they're all going to be stopping, so I'm just cruise up. Oh, hopefully they won't all go. Oh, they are. Look at that, they've all gone. So I have to now put the brakes on, and I'm going to go and follow these guys here, and I'm going to resume at 40, and I can change up, and it still keeps the cruise control on. And now I'm doing 35 miles an hour, look, accelerating up to keep up with that car. So now you can go along, you can concentrate on where you're going and the people that are in front of you and what's going on ahead of you, and it's doing everything else for you. And it uses engine braking to slow down if it doesn't feel it needs brakes. So here we go. Now I'm slowing down. They're slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Anyway, so that's cruise control, and it has a nice little perky engine. So it's very nice. It accelerates nicely. I do like that quick shifter. There we go, all the way up the hill. Very nice brakes. Yeah, it has a good. I like the riding position because it has that adventure bike riding position, but it's a sports bike. It's a sports tourer, so it has that smaller front tire, or a road bike tire, rather than the oversized front tire that you would have on an adventure bike. And it's designed to do lovely long journeys. You'd be quite happy to jump on this and head down to the south of France or to Lake Como in Italy, park up by a lovely restaurant, have a wonderful lunch, head out on the highway, and have a lovely sports touring week in Europe. It would be just fantastic, wouldn't it? It's a nice looking display, big display in front, easy to read, nice. The only thing I would say negatively is that it's a bit buffety on the head, and the indicators don't self cancel. So that's I just think all bikes these days should have self cancelling indicators. I think it's a good safe thing. I always worry about leaving an indicator on, so that if I'm indicating left and someone's pulling out from the left hand side, they think you're turning in and they pull out in front of you. So, but with self-cancelling indicators, that just wouldn't happen. The seat for me feels a little bit too close to the petrol tank for me. I love the quick shifter, and it has a really nice sound as you're going along. It's nice. It's got a really nice sort of perky, low down grunt. Yeah, it's very nice. Feels like when you're shifting down, it feels like the engine changes its note. Yeah. Anyway, very nice. And it's got plenty of speed, so when you're sitting here just about to overtake, you can sit there and it's got a very nice little squirt of power. Very nice. The display looks kind of fun as well. Well, so there you go. I mean, I think overall, I think it's a lovely bike. I think if I was to say a few things that I didn't like and a few things that I really liked, what I really liked is the quick shifter, the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control. I love the perkiness of the engine. I think that's really nice. I think on the slightly negative side, I would say the self-cancelling indicators. I wasn't so keen on the interactiveness of the Garmin and the phone pairing with the bike. I found that a little bit difficult. The seat, after a while, I found it just a bit too close for me. But I think overall it's a pretty damn good bike.